Library STEM video. I'm Miss Chrissy and I have some extra helpers with me today. Today we have Abby, Abel, Evie, Nora, and Madeline to help us make some garden bombs. This is our March STEM video. So if you've registered for a kit, the items that you will be receiving in your kit include some air dry clay, some seeds, which we'll talk about some more in a little bit. You'll get a pair of gloves for each person who registered, and there will also be some soil. The potting soil is over here behind Madeline on the ground. So you'll be getting some of that so that we can make some garden bombs. Okay, but first, what are garden bombs? Okay, anybody know? Abby, what do you think garden bomb is?
It's something that's like a clay ball that you put seeds, water, and soil in, and you just kind of toss it on the ground after you put that on.
That's right, yeah. So we're gonna make a little ball with some seeds in it, and we're gonna cover it in dirt, and then we can toss them wherever we want in our yards. We don't want to toss them anywhere that we don't know. We want to keep it on our property, and it should sprout some flowers for us. We talked a little bit about what garden bombs are. The other important thing to remember is that you want to make sure that your seeds are native seeds. And what do we think that that means? Abel, what do you think native means? Native seeds, native plants.
It means that they're from this country. If they aren't, then, well, they will grow bigger and bigger and kill all the plants.
Well, kind of. And it doesn't have to be just from this country, it just has to be native to this area. And when we talk about native plants and native seeds, we're talking about a plant that's part of the balance of nature that has been developing over hundreds or thousands of years for this particular area.
What?
So for the Midwest, for the Glen Carbon, Edwardsville, Metro East, Midwest area, for thousands of years, these plants have been kind of developing this connection, developing this way that they work together that works for the entire food web, for the entire food chain, okay? And when we talk about food chains or food webs, that's just the connection that plants and animals have where they eat things. So like, let's say a lion eats an antelope, which eats the grass. So if the grass doesn't grow right and the antelope doesn't have enough food to eat and the antelope die, then the lion doesn't have enough to eat. So even though the lion doesn't eat the grass not growing can affect the lion, right? The same thing happens for pollinators and for different plants around the area. So if the milkweed doesn't grow because there's an invasive species growing, an invasive plant growing and blocking out all the milkweed, then the butterflies can't grow because they don't have anything to eat. If the butterflies don't grow, then the birds that eat the butterflies don't grow, or they can't find
The animals that eat the birds don't grow, so on and so forth.
Exactly, and then it just keeps snowballing. Food chains and food webs are all connected, and so we want to make sure that we use the native plants to this area. If they're not native plants, then they are called invasive plants, invasive species, and that's just a plant that comes in that doesn't work with the ecosystem that's already been established in the area. And it can do things like take up too much of the water, take up too many of the nutrients in the soil, grow too tall, block out the sun for these other plants, and then it affects the whole food chain, the whole food web. Okay. There are also non-native plants, and those are plants that are not native to the area, but they're not necessarily invasive, which means they don't really hurt the ecosystem. They just aren't from this area.
They're just kind of there.
They're just kind of there, yeah. So I did make sure that we are not going to introduce an invasive species to the area. The wildflower seeds that I got for everybody are native wildflower seeds, and will grow well in this area. All right, so let's talk about how we're gonna make the bombs. The first thing you're gonna get in your kit is a hunk of clay, and the first thing you wanna do with that hunk of clay is roll it into the balls, roll it into a ball. So everybody show your ball to the camera here so they can see what your ball looks like.
Close up.
You can go close up for this one.
Not too close.
Not too close, there you go. Awesome. All right, once you have your ball of clay, go ahead and flatten it out. Real flat like a pancake.
flat as a pancake? Okay. I'll have to do this on
No, don't do it on the table because then it'll stick to the table. There you go. Alright, once you've got it nice and flat, probably about the size of your palm, would be about right. Yep, that's about right. You're going to want to get a little bit of soil from the bag the little baggie that you get it in. Okay, so we're using the big bag over there. So get a little bit of soil and put it in the middle of your clay circle.
I only put like the teeniest bit.
Only the teeniest bit.
So I don't really have to put any more.
You might want a little bit more than that.
You're
just so
able,
we
I
have
put too
enough.
much.
Oh, there you go. Teamwork, that works. Yep. All right, then you're going to sprinkle just a few wildflower seeds into the dirt that's in the middle of your circle. Now the seeds that you're going to get include a sunflower seed. Sunflowers are the national flower of Ukraine. And so because they're having a real hard time right now, we want to show our support to Ukraine. So we're going to include some sunflowers in your kits for you guys. All right. Okay, you did. Yep. Okay, so once you have your seeds and your dirt in the middle of your clay circle, we're going to add just a little bit of water to your dirt. So just kind of stick your fingers in and kind of sprinkle the water a little bit. Don't touch the dirt, just sprinkle it on top. Or if you have like a little dropper or something, or a small cup, we want to make sure we get just a little bit of dirt, or not dirt, a little bit of water in that dirt. Hold on, Abel. You're going to want some more water there. There you go. Yep. It's going to make your clay sticky. So be aware of that. And then you want to keep the dirt and the seeds in the middle of your clay and roll it back up to a ball. Abel, show them what you did.
See?
Yep, go ahead and roll it up. Do your best to keep the dirt and the seeds in the middle. And then you're going to have your ball of clay again. But now, inside the clay, you've got some dirt and some seeds. Put that down. Once you have your clay all rolled up with your dirt and seeds in the middle, you got it, Abby?
Don't go too close, Abel. Come back here.
Yep, come here, bud. Okay. Perfect.
Perfect.
And the reason that we put them in the clay is the clay helps protect the seeds inside from animals or birds that might eat them before they can sprout and germinate inside. So this is just going to help.
No, germinate. Like it's when the seeds start growing.
It's when the seeds break open.
Wait.
All right. So once you have your ball of clay with your seeds and things in the middle, we're going to put some more layers of dirt around the outside. If your clay is wet and sticky, this process is going to be real easy because the clay is going to be sticky and that dirt is going to want to just stick right to it. Okay? You're going to want to put 3 or 4 layers of dirt around the outside of your clay ball, just so it has plenty of soil around the outside. If the dirt, once it sticks to that clay the first time with the clay being real sticky, then doesn't want to stick anymore, you can go ahead and get it a little bit wet. Just kind of get your hands wet, maybe your gloves wet. This is the dirty part. And just put 3 or 4 layers of dirt around that ball. So then when you're all done, we should have something that looks about like this. Okay? And you will notice that it is a messy process. That is why we included the gloves. And it is why we are outside. Abel, don't shake like that. You're going to make a mess on putting dirt in people's eyes. So we're outside. There's lots of dirt on my patio right now. You can't really see it because as they're digging into the bag, it's spilling. Their hands are very messy. So that's why we're outside. So if at all possible, go ahead and try and do this job outside. If everybody wants to take their ball and show it up to the camera, you can do that. We all have our garden bombs now.
Oh,
Awesome.
she has 2.
Okay, come on back here. Okay, so that's the process. You're going to put the clay, the little bit of dirt and seeds and water inside of it. You're going to wrap it up and then you're going to cover it 2 or 3 layers of dirt. What are the 3 things that seeds need to be going to give 2 of those 3 things already because they are wrapped in soil and we put a little bit of water inside there for them, right? So they've got 2 of those 3 things. When we throw them out in the yard, that 3rd thing, the sun, is going to start working on them. Okay?
Yeah.
So with rain and enough sunlight and warmth, these wildflower seeds inside the ball will start to germinate and little sprouts will begin to appear in about 4 to 6 weeks. Okay, so it's going to take a couple of weeks for these things to grow. It's got to be warm for a little while. They got to get nice and warm inside there, and that's why that clay is important because it protects them while they're getting warm enough to sprout and germinate.
And when it's cold, the clay protects them from the cold.
Could be, yeah. The ball's going to protect them when it gets cold at night still, okay? Slowly, that ball is going to start to, like, as it rains, the ball, you're going to stop seeing the ball. It's going to kind of just turn into the dirt that's around wherever you throw it. And then you'll have a nice patch of some wildflower seeds. The one thing I want to make sure we pay attention to is please only throw these balls on your own property, okay? We don't want to plant flowers on anybody else's property because we don't know if they want flowers there or not, okay? So we're gonna go throw our garden bombs and I'm going to say goodbye for this month's STEM video. We will see you next month for April. We're gonna be doing some Earth Day activities. We're gonna be talking some more about earth sciences. We're gonna be talking more about how things grow. And we'll see you then. Don't forget to register. See you next time, guys. Bye.